Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another Satanic Panic video. And this time I'm going to be looking at a short, which is only 9 months old, so we're looking at something far more modern again. Now this is work by Dr. Taylor Marshall, who is a Catholic scholar. But as with many of these people we look at who are more up to date, he has a lot of beliefs which are considered a bit out there. For example, as I say, he's a Catholic. But he's a Catholic who believes that the current Pope, Pope Francis, is an anti-Pope because of some biblical reference where Pope Ratzinger didn't fill out his resignation properly. So Pope Ratzinger was still Pope. The council that elected Pope Francis wasn't legitimate, making Pope Francis an anti-Pope. Now, I'm sure this is all down to the terms of Pope Ratzinger's resignation and nothing to do with Pope Francis being more accepting of homosexuality, transgender, etc., etc., being a far more accepting Pope instead of a hardline one. He also believes that President Biden and Nancy Pelosi are possessed by demons, even though Biden is also a Catholic. But he believes that ex-President Trump will save America and is being persecuted. So you can see this guy's fairly right-wing. And the strange thing of all to me is he's also running for the US presidency this year. He's running under a policy of Christ is King. And a quote he gives, "I think we need a candidate who comes out and says abortion should be illegal. No-fault divorce should be illegal. Contraception should be illegal. We need a Christian culture in America. We don't need secularism. We don't need strict separation of church and state. We need a candidate who's going to say that. No one on the Republic GOP ticket ever going to say that. So I'm going to run and I'm going to say all those things and we'll see what happens." Now, what I'm a strong believer in is the people who don't believe in separation of church and state should think about how they'd feel if, for example, Islam was made the official church of the United States. Would they be happy with that being taught in schools? Islamic prayers being said before all government meetings? Would they be happy with that? If not, then they believe in separation of church and state. It's just that they believe in that for everybody else. They want their church to be the dominant one, of course.
Dungeons and Dragons is problematic, demonic. Do not be involved in it.
So we get straight off into it, and he says Dungeons and Dragons is problematic. Does he offer any proof? Not yet, and not ever.
I have a friend who has a really scary story that's related to a dungeon.
So this guy offers no proof whatsoever. No proof he's actually got any friends, but no proof that he's heard this story. All he's doing is he's got a friend who has a story about it being scary. He's not even telling us what that story is.
Dragon, I know another person who had a brother that had another scary story.
And we're getting to an extra level here. Not only has he got a friend who's got a story, but he's got a friend who's got a brother who's got a story. But he doesn't tell us what that story is. He doesn't offer any evidence of it. He's not even giving us the slightest details of what these stories are and why they're scary. He's just saying, oh, I've got this. That's enough. Believe me. Be scared.
When you hear me talk with Father Ripperger and you hear him and other exorcists say yoga can be a portal to demonic possession.
So yoga can open you up to demonic possession. Sitting in a comfortable position and resting your back and being one with your own thoughts can open you up to demons. This is something that's been told to him by an exorcist. This sounds like stuff out of the movies. He says we're involved in fantasy, but the craziness here is he believes his fantasy is real. We constantly get preached on that we can't distinguish between fantasy and reality, and that's where the danger of playing Dungeons & Dragons comes from. But this guy can't differentiate between fantasy and reality. He thinks the Exorcist movie is real. He thinks that demons, which we've never seen, we've never documented, are real. This guy is completely going a bit crazy.
Harry Potter, Ouija boards.
And Harry Potter is dangerous. And Ouija boards. We all actually know Ouija boards were just a game that was invented. There's nothing satanic in it at all. It's just a game that was made up. And of course, Harry Potter, we know is fantasy. It's just some books a woman who was living in Edinburgh wrote. There's no reality to it at all, but they're dangerous. There's real spells in them there Harry Potter movies.
It doesn't mean that every single person that does it is de facto possessed.
But give us proof even one is possessed. Go on, provide video, provide interviews, provide actual facts that cannot be debunked, so we can see that even one person's possessed, rather than it just being a friend that your friend's brother told you whatever. Offer us evidence.
But there are cases in which people have become fully possessed by demons by doing yoga, Dungeons and Dragons, Harry Potter spells.
And again, you make this claim. People have been possessed because of yoga, because of Harry Potter, because of Dungeons and Dragons. But you're not offering any facts. You're not providing any evidence. You're just making this up. You're the biggest fantasist I've ever watched.
It's dangerous. It's kind of like if you go to Sweetwater, Texas during rattlesnake season and you wear flip-flops and high shorts and run through the rattlesnake field, a rattlesnake's going to bite you.
I really didn't know where that was going to go there. He stretched that right to it. Okay, so basically what you're saying is it's dangerous, so you wouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons like you wouldn't walk through a field of snakes with flip-flops on. But you can see the snakes. Where's the demons? Before you say, don't play Dungeons and Dragons, don't read Harry Potter, don't do yoga, because there's demons, show us the demons. Just like, if you're saying, don't wear flip-flops because there's snakes, you can show people the snakes.
Why even risk getting the venom in you? And the venom here is possession by the infernal serpent, Satan.
Why risk the danger? Because we don't see there's any danger there. You're not offering any proof of it. You could warn us not to go out into our gardens because of the danger. The danger of a satellite falling on your head and killing you. Maybe you could point towards one occasion when that might have been a risk sometime somewhere. But with demonic possession, you're not even showing that tiny amount. You can't prove any of this, so there's no risk for us to take care about.
I hope that makes sense.
No, it really doesn't.
It's like, just don't be dumb.
Now that seems the perfect thing to say back to him.
It's playing Russian roulette with your soul.
So it's like Russian roulette for your soul. Now I'll give him that. That's a good turn of phrase. But let's be honest, it doesn't really work. Because for most of us, not only is there no evidence that the soul exists, but in this example, it'd be exactly like if you were being told it was Russian roulette for your soul, but there was no evidence there was even a gun. There was no factual documented evidence that the bullet existed. And, to tell the truth, that Russia was only a rumour as well, and you'd never seen that. It's about that dangerous. But then again, this guy is just focusing on fear and dislike of things. He doesn't like the way the Catholic Church is changing. He doesn't like people's hobbies. He wants to control them. They should follow his rules. And that's why he's running for president, with all of the crazy things he'd like to put in place. But anyway, I think as usual I've whittled on for quite long enough. So thank you very much for watching. But as always, most of all, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later.